Okay.
Hey guys, Liz here with Springfield Leather, and this is our Make Something podcast. Today we have our very special guest, Kelly Brown with Hide and Seen. Welcome, Kelly. Thank you for coming to talk with me today.
Thank you. So, just in case anybody doesn't know, I'm Brown Bird and I am a leather addict.
She is.
Yes.
Yeah,
And
you love leather.
yes. And, I do have issues with, the anger of my lag sometimes. And then also if Foxy outbids me. So anyway, but that's who I am,
We're
is
getting that.
also Brown Bird.
We're getting that on the table. So for
Yeah.
those of you that aren't familiar with the live shopping or live streaming side of Springfield Leather, Kelly is an avid watcher and buyer of our SLC live shopping leathers because you want weird stuff.
I do.
You want weird, unique, fun, interesting.
Damaged. Yeah. I'll take
Because
those.
Kelly is probably one of the most interesting leather crafters I have ever met.
Thank you.
You popped into our stream several years ago now, and we've had a few years to get to know each other. And when I first saw what you did with leather, I was blown away.
Yeah.
My flabbers were gassed. Like I had never seen anybody do leather like you do leather.
Yep, nothing like you've ever seen.
No, and it's so amazing. And so if any of you out there are not watching us but listening to us, please go to Kelly's website,
hideandseen.com.
Yeah.
And,
and check out her stuff, because what she does, and we've got a picture here in the background if you are watching
Let me
that you
raise
can
this
see.
up.
I think it's all right. They'll be able to kind of check it out
Okay.
and see. But what Kelly does is well, you know what? How about I don't explain what you do? How about you explain what you do?
Okay. Well, I'm a lot like a preschooler. I cut and glue.
You do. I think that's a great way to
Yes.
explain it.
And I mean, I just really love it. So of course I use all different types of
You
cutting tools.
collage.
It is like a collage. It would be like a bas relief. So it is also 3D. I want to say 3D, but there's depth to it. And that's because I have to build them up in order to cover the areas.
Yeah.
And everything is a process for me. But everything is cut and glued, and then I put it together. So
you make pictures out of leather.
Make pictures.
And I do. Okay. So one thing that I feel really strongly about in the leather world is that leather craft is art.
Yes.
It doesn't have to be practical.
Yes.
It doesn't have to be a purse. It doesn't have to be a wallet. It doesn't have to be a belt.
But all those things are still art.
That is true. Yeah.
I mean, and there's an artist that is behind them, or a creator or a builder, because actually I kind of consider myself as a builder because I don't have an artist background.
Okay.
But so all of those things are art to me.
I agree with that.
Yes.
I absolutely agree with that. But just like the definition of maybe hanging something on the wall.
Yes.
Like a piece for art's sake that you're just going to look at.
Correct.
And so you build scenes.
Yes.
SCENEs.
Mm-hmm.
Build scenes.
Scenic. Scenery.
With leather. Yeah, you make leather scenic pictures of you do mountains and you do beaches and water.
I do everything. Sometimes.
What inspires you? How do you pick a scene?
Oh gosh.
Does the leather talk to you? Does nature talk to you?
The leather does talk to me, and nature does talk to me, and also other people's pictures, photographs.
Okay.
They talk to me.
Sure.
But I cannot do any artwork from their photographs.
Okay.
Copyright issues.
Right. What if you had somebody that came to you and said, "This is my picture," and
absolutely.
that was something that you would do?
Absolutely. Yes.
Okay.
If you go to the website there, you'll see on there there's a photograph of a gentleman's car. It's a Z06, and he asked me to do that picture for him, and so I replicated it basically in leather. And so it's and I like the classic cars too, but it was a lot of work because each piece is literally cut and glued. It's all pre-dyed leather. I didn't dye or paint or add to it. And so anyway, that gives you an idea. But yes, I actually like when people give me a photograph and they say, this is what, I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Can you make that? It makes it easy for me
Sure.
because without an artist background, I don't know composition very well, which we can talk about this later because I've been working on that.
You
I've
have
been,
been.
yes,
You have been going to school.
I've been going to school and learning all about line and, tangents and color. And I've been learning it all. And so now I'm ready to apply it into a new same leather pictures, but
yeah.
Yeah.
Can we turn that off?
Yes, it's
Okay.
off.
Okay.
Sorry. I thought I muted it. So, oh yeah, my daughter. She said, okay, sorry.
No, she's like, Mom, I need you.
Get it off. Okay.
All right.
Can't.
So how did you fall into this line of work? Or this?
So, I've always loved leather.
Mm-hmm.
Even back into, young kid, I'd grown up around horses, the smell of leather. But there's an area that goes even further back.
Okay.
Is that my grandfather on my mother's side, which he had passed away when she was like around 2.
Okay.
And then also his oldest son, they had a harness shop and shoe shop. And so, yes, so they used to do leather, but of course I never met him.
Right.
But I think it just kind of comes down, down the line. But
part of your
anyway,
blood.
So back that, yes. But actually how I really started this was back in probably 98.
Okay.
And I had some scrap leather, not a big array. And I had cut out a profile of a horse head and glued it into a picture and put it in a frame. And it was like, oh my gosh, this is really pretty cool. Of course, it wasn't to these detail. But anyway, it was like, oh, I'm going to do this, But I also had a baby at the time and 3 other kids that were around, 8, 9, and 10. And so, of course, mom's gets on the back burner.
Right.
And so then probably about, I think it was around 2009, then I had a life crisis or issue, family issues. And so anyway, it was like, oh, I'm just, was kind of devastated. I won't give all the details of that. And so my oldest son had gone to college. So I took over his room. I went to a local leather place in St. Joseph, Missouri, and I got some scraps. And took it to that room and just kind of, I was kind of like hiding from life. So
you needed some therapy.
Yeah, I did. So I went, and things I was amazed. I got to be a part of it, and it was therapy. So, and
you found yourself.
I started finding myself. I was like, oh my gosh,
that's
look
beautiful.
At this. Yes. And so I started making them from there. And then, so it's been a long term.
Well, how lovely.
Yeah.
Every time I look at one of your pictures, there's so much little detail and so many little things, especially, when you've got the tree scenes and you love a fur.
I do love the herons.
You do love a fur.
Yeah.
Guys, you should go shopping with this girl for some herons. We will go to our offsite grant building and we will look at
pallets
of heron hide rugs, and she's going to walk around them in all the ways and see where she can find mountains.
Yes.
It's a very fun experience.
Yes.
To shop with Kelly.
Yeah. And it's not only mountains, but there's so many other things that I can see in there. So I can't do, because of the hard lines, I can't do like shadows.
Okay.
And those kind of things are really difficult. And so I'm finding ways of doing that. And that's one of the things is with those, especially the acid wash, is I can see the shadows that are built in kind of already where the hair is left. Yeah. So
she says she's not an artist, guys, but
yeah. Well, and the other thing is when I was down here, I think a month ago, and you let me go through your dyes.
Yeah, we experimented.
And sampled the dyes. And so then I needed to mostly see how they were going to react to the herons. And of course, all the herons are so different. And I'm so intrigued with them, but they're reacting real well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I got some beaver scraps not the tail, the fur, the hide,
Yeah.
and some beaver scraps. And of course, I have to, I got to break the hair. In a sense, I look at the hair because some hair is squiggly, some hair is
Right.
very straight, some hair is very soft.
And the beaver's got like the two
And
different hairs.
yes, it does.
Yeah.
And I mean, the down underneath there is literally a down,
Mhm.
and then of course these beautiful other shinies on the end. But anyway, yeah, it's very exciting to
You're a
me.
very curious person,
Yes,
which I think lends very well to this. So,
yes.
guys, we have the picture that she brought in for us is a sunset ocean sandy beach scene with a rock wall, and then we have a furry palm tree
Yeah, and so these
with
are
a snake skin or a lizard.
lizard.
A lizard skin
Yes.
trunk. Thank you.
Yes.
Whatever those things are called.
So what I do on these palm fronds and on a
Yeah,
lot
you're
of the
just
trees,
twisting that all over the place.
yeah. So I put them on what's called doorbell wire because it moves and it's very durable. And if you bend it back and forth, it doesn't break like some wire would do.
Okay.
And it's very handy for a couple of things. Is that because sometimes you need to kind of like brush these or whatever.
Yeah.
Not a lot. But a lot of people are always welcome to touch the pictures. We say pet the pictures in my booths when we go to the art shows. And so also when I pack them up, then these will give and bend and not break. And so there's a couple of reasons why that I do that. And then it's fun, and then it's fun and you can pet the pictures. So,
yeah, and you can make your palms however you want if you want to really maybe like spread out palm.
Yeah,
The person at home with their beautiful picture can they're like, oh, I'm
so I brought
today.
some samples of some things. Do you want to see these?
Yeah,
yet?
sure.
Okay.
Absolutely.
I'll pull this one up here. So like for instance, I'll take the hair-ons, and so this is just like a straight piece of hair-on, and then I use super glue for the wiring, and then I fold it over and it turns, and so this tree will bend and not break.
You got like a fern leaf.
Yeah.
Oh, you just fold it over.
I just fold it over and glue it, and
then the hair just sticks out how it's gonna go.
Yes, and here is the same, and this one that one is a cowhide. Or no, that one's a goat. That's a goat hide. Because I'm looking for usually longer hairs.
Yeah.
Because I can also cut them off and trim them. So I'm a little bit of a hairdresser here too. So anyway, but I've just put them on these wires and they bend. And then I also took my new dyes. And then so now I can get some shade or color or highlights.
Has a
whatever I need.
piece of greenery that you've created.
So I'm always like to be process mode is probably my favorite thing because as soon as I get some leather in, because I usually get it in weekly.
You sure do.
And
she's an avid shopper.
Yes. And so anyway, when I get the leather in, I usually sit down at my table. I get out my dyes, sandpaper, skiving tool, whatever else I can find that I can manipulate that leather and see what it's going to do. And so now a new thing that I'm looking at are the leathers, any kind that have a different color background, like a lighter background or even a darker one. And so, that's just kind of a new area that I'm in on that. And actually I can show you kind of some samples if you want.
Yeah.
Of what I'm talking about. Oh, this is, I'm just such a mess. Isn't it fun? So, like for instance here, this is the picture that I'm working on now that I showed Liz. And this is basically a dirt road to the clouds. And the clouds are made out of this holographic leather. And man, it turns out beautiful. But I didn't get it finished. I'm so sorry. But I go in and I put the leather together. To cut and see. And then I also use what I call my leftover glue on these edges. I have to clean the edges up. And so I make these glue balls. And so
perfect rocks.
Exactly. And so nothing goes to waste. And then I also learned through these glue balls that I could put them in black dye. first, and
Oh.
all the little black will get into the crevices of the glue.
You antique your glue balls.
Yep, and then now I've dyed them too to get brown or whatever color I need for them. So anyway, same here with this, the hair on hides, and I'm going to see how the dyes act.
Yeah.
I see how they stack.
Sure.
And, what I need to do to my edges. Sometimes I need to Sharpie them out. I'll also take my skiving tool, like we've got these colors here, and I will remove the top layer. And for me, that will be like clouds or something like this.
So like having like crust behind and then a dyed surface, and you can kind of scrape out the dye or the finish on top, get to that crust or whatever colors underneath.
Yes.
And see, automatic
see what works.
Situation.
Correct.
Yeah.
And I do it on these small sizes because, once you cut the leather, you can't go back and uncut it.
Yes.
And sometimes if I have like a side of leather, just the side, I need to keep the longest, widest for maybe the skies, or because my pictures, most of them run a 32 by 48. That's about my standard size.
Make a huge picture.
Yes. And the reason is because when it does come down to some of the hair that are on some of the hides, is I need to keep them in the right scale. Yeah. Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. And
so big, that size works with the scale of what you've found.
Yes, correct. Yeah. So I have to do that. And then of course, sometimes I write on the back so that I know which one I've used, which dye.
Do you keep your little samples that you get a hide, you're going to cut off a little sample swatch, you're going to do your mess with it, whatever you do.
Yep.
You keep a whole basket full.
I keep a whole basket full. And then that way, if I need to, I can go back and reference, because I do have a lot of hide, and sometimes I forget which dye I've used on it, or I go, oh, I already did that because I tried that, 6 months ago or a year ago. And so then I can just have a reference to go back and look.
That's so amazing.
Yeah.
And I just love over here. So just referencing this photo again. So we've got the rose gold metallic
cowhide.
That's just like a standard stock. We have, you have like, is this Angora?
No, this one is just, I think it's a sheepskin. I thought that it was a goat skin, but it's not. The hair follicles are different. And this is
just a sheep. Okay. And then did you dye this, or is this how you found it?
That was the color that it was.
All right.
Which was great.
We've got one of the safari. Safari lizard skins for the trunk of our palm tree here.
Yep. Got 2 or 3 colors of those. Got to keep a variety of colors.
And then we have the turquoise
cowhide metallic
that's been milled for the water. So this one is the non-milled, really firm version up top, and then the milled one for the water, and you've got waves in it that you've put. And then for the sand, we have the suede.
No, this
metallic.
It's just the metallic, so it's not suede. It may look that way. And then and these are leather over here.
And then this is
that is giraffe.
Yep. The giraffe that you've cut up into brick for a brick wall that sits in the sand.
Bricklayer. Many trades.
Bricklayer. And what's behind the brick?
So a lot of times I'll use foam boards, as a support back there, because they go together kind of like a puzzle. So I may make parts for a picture. Actually, this wall has been in about 3 other pictures.
Oh, really?
I didn't like how it turned out, and then I put it into something different, or they didn't sell, and then I tear them apart, and then I may put it into something else. And this is redone. This is probably maybe a year old, a year and a half old. Yeah. So I've learned some art things since then. So this one still needs to have some type of focal point in here, whether it's a girl on the beach or a chair or a blanket and a picnic basket. Who knows what, a bird. Oh, I got to talk about my birds.
Let's talk about birds. I love birds.
Okay. And I did not bring a sample. So another thing that I can do, because I use glue, and the glue that I use is just the Beacon's fabric tack.
Okay. Where do you get? Just at the fabric store?
At the fabric store, whatever. I order it online because I order a case at a time. It's, they don't order large quantities, so I get the largest bottle they have because it is an active glue, and then they get into their, you know, shipping,
Oh,
with that. So
yeah.
anyway, yeah. So it's
Okay.
it's okay with me, but I buy cases of them at
How
a
did
time
you choose that glue?
because I try everything. Yeah, except for that I haven't come here and tried all these glues. Of course, I watched like this week
Yeah.
we had the glue plug, and I love watching those. I don't know what's going to work for me. I still want to try some
Yeah.
things, but we talked about the pressure that they have to have on some of them.
Mhm.
And so anyway, so this works for me,
Sure.
and these do not come apart, very easy. I mean, right down here, I probably
Didn't glue as much,
because
but
this was super glue. That's why. Okay.
gotcha.
So, but I wanted to talk about the birds.
Yeah.
So I take these same type of hides and I cut them out in kind of the shape of a wing. And then I'll take my glue, a butter knife, because that's one of my major tools. And I take the glue and I put it over the top of the hair. And so then it gets solid. So this glue that I use also is pliable.
Mhm.
It'll dry solid, but I can take a heat gun and heat it up. And then it will be pliable. Same with my rocks. If I need to flatten my rocks out to go in the picture, then I can soften them up. So anyway, but I put the glue over the top and then I go in and cut the shape of the wings and build the body. And then we've got these durable wings.
They were
on
you
them.
brought in, was it a seagull picture?
Might have been, yes.
Yeah,
I've done.
or maybe you showed me last time you were
Yes.
here, and just the most gorgeous set of wings coming off
Yes.
of your picture.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So anyway, and I haven't played with them enough. I haven't had time to play, to go into the eagles and the other birds
Yeah.
and the hawks and the
You gotta get there.
raptors and yeah.
I had a hawk in my front yard last night.
Oh,
I looked out the window and I was like, Chris, there's a hawk in our tree.
oh,
And I just sat there the whole time it was there.
yeah.
Kelly flew away. I was so excited.
I have to tell you that's something kind of funny because I am very creative and I'm thinking of things all the time. And so I have the whole fox hide that we got and also the otter. Well, so I live at Lake of the Ozarks. And so down on the lake, we have, a lot of the eagles that are flying around. And I'd said to my husband, Mitch, I was like, I wonder if I bring that fox out and lay him on the dock and if that eagle's going to fly in, because I'd like to get a really good picture up close of the eagle, right? Because I need to have my own photographs.
Tie down your
so
fox.
I was like, oh God, he might fly away if I just try to scare him off. But yeah, and then it was like, yep, tie it down. But I'm not going to do that because I don't want to lose my fox. but I would like to have a really good picture of an eagle, that I don't have to take off the internet. That's not allowed,
Right.
So anyway.
So many things.
Yeah.
Well, so as we were sitting here getting ready to come on, you were talking about how you want to encourage I'm going to call him a standard leather crafter to incorporate some of your ideas into their wearables, if you're making a bag or you're, whatever it is that they're crafting.
Well, there's a lot of people that will say to me in the art world that will say, you need to teach people how to do this. And I would love to, because to me, that's like, oh, here, maybe they have a great idea that I can use also, right? And so anyway, I've kind of thought about that, and it's like, I can't. They don't have the leather. They don't have the tools. I don't know if they're, these are people that usually use paintbrushes and canvases, right? And so then I was thinking who I need to really talk to if people want to do this are the leather crafters.
Yeah.
They've got the tools. They've got usually the leather, the scraps, or have access to it.
Yeah.
And so anyway, that's what we were talking about a little earlier was there are some things that could be incorporated into the purses, the bags, just all kinds of different areas and even being creative. I talked to somebody here earlier that does maybe graphics or cartoons or something. I can't remember.
Was it just today? Or
No, it's been a few months.
Okay, we had a girl
talked about doing it. It was a guy.
Well, I don't know.
Yeah, wasn't you, Justin? Was it? Did you do that?
Yeah,
no, I think so. But anyway, I talked to him out on the floor, and they're like, I thought about putting that, and I said, yeah, I can show you how to do this because there are a lot of ways of doing it.
I was talking about doing a Pokemon one.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Okay. So anyway,
Well, and that's the thing that I think is really cool. Like you're utilizing, I mean, obviously you're making huge pictures. So a lot of times you need these
yes.
really large sections of leather. But if you're
Yes.
talking about somebody putting something on the front of a bag,
Yeah.
being able to have the mindset of how can I use these leathers to create a scene instead of, like tooling it onto the bag
Yes.
or whatever the case may be.
Yes.
Um,
Yes. You can go into well, I say process mode is where you're, R&D, what works, what doesn't work,
mhm,
and usually you can only take just like a 2x2 piece of your leather when it comes in and see how it does. I mean, even if you're making, like some clouds and just like a barn, I mean, it could be fairly simple. Because really that's what you're doing to the leather when you tool.
yeah.
And I don't tool. I took some tooling classes and I have a little, you know,
Coaster.
coaster, two of them, and I looked at it and was like, "Oh, that was bad." It's a good thing I don't do that. My husband's like, "Oh, that pounding,
He's
tapping."
like, I just prefer you with some
Yeah,
scissors.
scissors. I'm very quiet up in my room. So
Well, so talk
anyway,
talk me through a process of you getting started. I just watched the little tour
okay.
of your beautiful studio.
Yes, I
And
just reorganized
yet
it.
once again, we are going to reiterate Kelly likes leather and
Yes.
she has as much as we do.
I wish. Plan on it.
But yeah, so like when you just want a huge variety so that as you look at your scenes,
Yes.
you can be like, "Oh, I've got this piece from over here. This could be this. This could be that."
Yes.
How
And
Oh, go ahead.
okay, well, and how I first start out is usually either I will draw it out. I mean, I
Okay.
do have a little bit of drawing skills, and so I'll, of course, decide what size the picture is going to be,
Mhm.
and then I will draw it out, and then I will go in with, which I recently learned is you go in with kind of like a tracing paper, and
Mhm.
you lay over that, and then you do value studies, where the
Ah,
darks and the lights are going to be. So there's kind of a plan. So it visually looks good because I didn't know all those things before. So I was practicing, mistakes basically. But so anyway, so I'll draw it out first. And of
okay.
course, it's open to change at any time because it depends on, I'm not a painter and I can't mix the colors and get what I need. So I have to work with the colors I have and see where I can manipulate them.
Mhm.
And so a lot of times what I'll do is I have lots of these plexiglasses I got from a framer. And so I go in and I lay it over the hide, especially like the hair-ons and the acid wash. And then I can draw out my mountain or whatever it is. And then I can go back and so I can see how it's going to lay out. Like for instance, the picture I
Mm.
was showing you with the dirt road to
Uh-huh.
the clouds is I need to make sure that the hair that I'm getting ready to cut is standing up as if it were grass.
The
You
right
know,
direction.
correct,
Yeah.
correct. So this is what the plexiglass helps me, and it's just something that I found that works for me,
Yeah.
So,
No, I think that's really cool.
yeah,
Be able to draw
and
it out.
yeah, and so then I can go and I'll cut my pieces out. And I heard you talking about this, about the hair on hides that you guys, oh, the hair on cutting the hair on
Oh.
hides. And see, I cut from the back.
Yeah.
And that's so that I don't disturb the hair follicles and give the straight lines and the bowl cuts, what I say. And so anyway, I cut from the back, and then I also don't have as much hair
Yes,
as
yeah.
the problem,
Right.
right? And so anyway, but that is kind of hard as I lay that on there, and then I just kind of eye it. Nothing is exact, and I always give myself probably an inch or two more.
Right.
Either it has to wrap around or I might have to cut off or skive an area. So I go a little bit larger on that. So anyway, but I make each piece is in a sense almost made separately.
Yeah.
And then I'm constantly laying them out onto the main picture. And I kind of decide my sky or I can change my sky. So nothing's set in stone, nothing's glued down until I really like all my colors together.
Okay.
And if I need to make any changes.
Yeah.
So
Kind of do piece art.
kind of, yeah, kind of
Yeah.
like a collage,
Mhm.
and so that's how they go together. So a lot of times when, I'm trying to show the picture, everything might just be laid out. It's not glued on and final. But when you do glue it on and final, it still takes it to a whole new dynamic.
Yeah. And
because
everything's perfectly like tucked
yes,
and
tucked
and
and yep,
yeah.
all of those
It's
details.
like
So
everything is cleaned up. You
yes.
finished all the edges.
Yes, and I have to clean my edges because the glue comes out, and so then
Mhm.
that's how I get my glue balls, and I just save them. I just save them. So
You have a little container of glue balls,
no,
don't
I
you?
have a big
Oh, you have
container.
a big
Yep, and they
container.
usually go into one container and then into another, like plastic bag or a container.
Yeah.
Yes.
How long will it take you to build a picture?
That's always hard to say because I worked on one that I really wanted to bring here today to show you a new style and new different things. But, I worked on it for about not quite 2 weeks. I've
Mhm.
worked on two simultaneously because a lot of times I may work on three or four simultaneously.
Okay.
I may walk away from one and come and go do
Yeah.
something, or I get this harebrained idea and it's like, oh, I got to do this. I got to try this. Oh, I've been thinking about this. And so anyway, but they take anywhere really from reasonably from 2 weeks up to a month to
Okay.
make.
Sure.
Yes. Yes. And so I don't know if the pricing usually changes on some of them, depends on the size, depends on what leathers I've used.
Yeah.
If there's a
Oh,
lot
for
of
sure.
if there's a lot of elephant hides in there that are tree trunks, then it's going to be a little bit more. And then and George, I have to tell you, he was a wealth of knowledge. Oh
Did
my
you
God.
enjoy him?
Oh, I watched both shows twice.
Oh, good.
Yes. And he was talking about, the shark market.
Yeah.
And so it was like, I actually had shark in the picture I showed you with the purple mountain in the
Mhm.
trees. And that was part of the rocks
So this
coming
one needs to
out.
be more expensive.
No, I decided I better save my shark. So I pulled out because it's a smaller picture,
Yeah.
meaning that it's an 18 by 24.
Mhm.
And so it was like, yeah, because I do have a gallery in Osage, or excuse me, Camdenton that I
Okay.
take things to.
Ooh.
And I was like, oh, this is a smaller picture, less on the price. And I don't want to put my shark in there. I think I'll save it.
Thanks for the tip, George.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely.
That's funny.
Yeah.
So where you travel, you go to shows
Yes.
and you sell your stuff. So yeah, how did you had to start making them?
Yes.
And then from there, how did it progress to where you found your market?
Well, there's been kind of a long haul and tried different ones.
Yeah.
So I kind of feel like I have a Western background or a farm background because I
Mhm.
grew up with horses. We had a small farm. We did cattle, those kind of things. Kids were all in ag and those kind of things. So anyway, um, actually, my first show was out at Reno, California at the
Okay.
car show out there,
Oh,
because I
fun.
love the classic cars,
Uh-huh.
but they just take so long to make. So that went out the window, but I still love them. So anyway, but it was a horrible booth. It was very, learning
Sure.
process, and that's okay. And then I started into going to the National Rodeo Finals, Natural Finals Rodeo.
Mm.
And so I would go out there. They have probably 5 big venues where that you can go in and do shopping
Yeah.
and different things going on. And so I got into one of those, Mandalay Bay. And so I did that for a couple of years. Plus,
Okay.
it's really nice. You go up out there and you're indoors, so you're out
Mhm.
of the weather. You set up and then you go to your hotel or RV and then you come in the next morning
Yeah.
and then you're there for the day. And of course, the people are wonderful and there's so many different things there. Did really well out there at those
Good.
shows. Um, but anyway, that was really nice. They're usually about 10 days, you know.
That's a pretty long show.
Yeah, it is
Wow.
because you're a little bit before and then a little bit
Yeah.
after. So anyway, so I did that. I've been to Jackson Hole, Wyoming, to the
Yeah.
Western Design Conference. Went to Albuquerque to the Balloon Fest and did it out there.
Oh, how amazing.
Yeah, it
Oh,
was
have
fun.
you done a balloon?
No, haven't done a balloon because actually when I talked to her out there, I said, do I have to do balloon related? And she said, no, they buy everything.
Sure.
And so I thought about doing a balloon, but it's like, okay, I'll just kind of stay with what I'm doing at this point.
Oh my
But
gosh.
then
I
probably,
need a balloon now, Kelly.
oh, you can have balloon, got some great basket,
Yeah.
and cords, got some leather cord.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm even thinking you could have like a balloon that's like completely removed and like above the thing. And then
Yeah, and we can put some great holographic clouds in there.
I'm
Yeah.
going to come up to your studio. We're going to have so
Okay.
much fun.
I know. Yes, yes. So anyway, and you'll have to stay a little while 'cause it takes a
Okay.
little bit.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I did the Albuquerque Balloon Fest, and then I wanted to start doing outdoor shows. So that
Mhm.
caused me to have to invest in the booth
Yeah. You gotta have a
and
tent
learn
and
how to set it up. And so anyway, so we started doing that, and we started doing that probably, I think, maybe 5 years ago.
Okay.
And so we were traveling to Florida and
Mhm.
taking our RV, and I was loading my truck
Yeah, you're a
up.
roadster.
Yes, loading my truck up. And so I would because I had to take pictures, so those all went in the back.
Mhm.
And I used to have a one of the transit vans,
Okay.
you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
and it wouldn't pull the RV. And so we went to buy a new RV. That was during the COVID. And so it was like prices were high. So I said, I'm going to go buy a new vehicle. Traded that in and got a truck with a camper shell, bed slide, and it works great. We can just put the pictures in there, slide them in and out. All the other leather products either go in the back seat or in the RV.
Mhm. I've
Which,
heard about your Christmas tree containers, bags
yes,
full of hair on hides.
yes. So the last thing that I put in is I load leather in, even kind of broke my closet floor because I loaded in the closet, under the bed, which we can't get too heavy, on the couch, and I mean, I'm taking probably
You're
a
like,
third of my leather.
oh, wow.
Yeah, because I have an idea and it's like, you can't be down there and not have the right leather, right? And so anyway, so when I get down there, we take an RV. So when I get down there, I made plyboards with casters on the bottom.
Mhm.
And then I put the Christmas tree bags that are waterproof. And so then I'll unload the leather and I'll put it in there. And so I did that. I had 2 bags.
Yeah.
And so then I put tie strings and I just slide them under the RV and pull them out when I need them and can go out and set my table up and
You just
pick-
work outside
I do.
in the winter in
It's
Florida.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you
So it's
guys, so
beautiful.
you and your husband, you go down there and you do camps. You manage a campsite? Is
No.
that, no. You
Nope.
just
we
go.
just rent and
What are they called? The winter birds.
Yeah, snowbirds.
Snowbirds.
Yeah.
There it is.
And so anyway, we do that. And then, of course, you have to do the shows. You have to jury in for the shows,
Mhm.
probably 6 months in advance. And so you already kind of have your plan. And, down in Florida, there's a lot of people that do the shows, the venues for the shows, or the people that run it. And then there are lots of local shows, meaning put on by, local medical center or whatever,
Okay.
right? Okay. So anyway, but we have a couple of them that we follow particular that are usually high end and fine art. They are very particular about when you can set up, when you can tear down, but they pull in a high end clientele. And so it's worth it,
Yeah, for sure.
So anyway, so we do those, and we usually do, because we're kind of old, we usually do a show about every 2 to 3 weeks,
That's still pretty
because
frequently.
because I mean, it does just wear you out. You
Yeah.
have to go set up sometimes on Friday, which is nice. Some of them require, because they're taking a main street, maybe right down the middle of Del Rey.
Okay.
The city ordinances do not allow them to shut the street down until 3:00 in the morning. So we will go in at 3:00 in the morning and drop our booth, have to go to parking, and then come back and we can start setting up at 5:00 in the morning.
Oh, what an early day.
Yeah, it is very early. Besides the fact that we've just driven maybe 30 minutes to an hour
To get there. In the middle of the night.
Correct. Yes. And so then you got to be all pretty and happy and, talk with everybody, until 6:00. And then of course you go eat. And then Sunday you get to tear down.
Okay.
And so it's a very busy.
So they don't make you tear down Saturday night as well.
No, you don't know.
You're not there for a
No,
full
and
24 hours.
Correct. And they have, sometimes you'd want to be, but they have security.
Sure.
And yeah.
Oh, wow.
So it's, it's, a pretty good system and stuff. And so then we also did, we did the Florida shows probably for about the last 4 or 5 years. And then I really wanted to go back to the West.
Mm-hmm.
And,
You've been
I
talking about
love
your mountains.
Yeah, I love the pine trees. And, I know George talked about, he really likes the carp hides. And I do too. You saw them. They make beautiful tree trunks.
Yeah.
And so anyway, so we went out last year to Colorado. And we followed the same venue that we do because they travel around the
Oh,
United
that's
States.
nice.
They
Okay.
go up to the East Coast and they have in Virginia and Colorado. And so we went to some shows out there. We did two. We did two, one in Aspen and one in Beaver Creek.
Mhm.
And of course, those are just gorgeous. And I love the mountains, you know. And so, anyway, I love being at the bottom of the mountains, not at the top of the mountains. But anyway, it was just beautiful there
Yeah.
and great shows. And I do want to go back for sure. And I want to go up into Wyoming and, you know, Utah. Utah's I got a lot of great shows. So,
Mhm.
yeah. So I want to
Very
go
neat.
back out west.
So you found your little circuit, and it's a
Yes.
fine art circuit. It seems like what you're following.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And so and it's Howard Allen events, you know, just in case there's anybody out there because I mean there's a lot of people that bring high-end purses and
You see a
all
lot of
different
leather crafters.
yeah, it's not only, you know, paint and
Right.
those kind of things. It's everything, you know, sculptures and great people. I mean, we've met a lot of people that we've seen in Florida that we see out in
Oh, fun.
Colorado. Yes.
Fun.
And so anyway, just for the future, but it's Howard Allen, it's artfestivals.com.
Okay.
And they're a good venue to follow. That's my opinion. And so
You've had good
anyway,
experience. Well,
yeah,
hey, gotta
yeah.
help out your fellow crafters
Yes,
in the market.
yeah, because I mean, you might want to go on vacation and find a show and just
Yeah.
do, you know, plan on doing a show.
Yeah. You guys are drivers.
Yes,
You very
I'm the
much
driver.
me too.
Yeah, I'm the driver. We don't let Mitch drive the truck and the trailer. Sorry, honey.
But so you were even telling me a few months ago that you had a really big picture that somebody had ordered and you
Yes.
delivered it
Yes.
because
Well,
you were like
it
the shipping was outrageous.
yes, it was at the Colorado show and
Mhm.
we did well, but it commissioned work. And so I went to their beautiful condo that overlooked Beaver Creek
Okay.
and took one picture basically off of my phone outside her condo of the beautiful mountain and also the ski. They were really into the skiing. And I won't use her name, but anyway, I asked her, I said, can in the next couple of days when we have good light, can you get some great pictures of the mountain?
Mhm.
Well, she was only there for about 2 or 3 more days and it was foggy every day. So she had no pictures.
Yeah.
I had one picture. And so I had to reference off of that. And this piece was a 40 by 60. So it was very
Oh my
large. We
goodness.
went to their condo and she said, I want it on this wall. And so that's what we were basing it on. So, of course, it took me a few months to make it. She wanted it by Thanksgiving. And so I said, okay, that sounds great. Went to ship it and it did not fit into the shipping code. So it went into freight prices.
Uh-huh.
And it was like, okay, I didn't search out real well, but we were looking at $2,000.
Yeah.
And so I said, my husband and I were talking, how about we deliver it out there? We'll be 12 hours away, you know, 14. And she's like, okay, that sounds great. I said, if you guys want to help cover fuel or whatever, she called me back and she said, we'll put you up in the Westin and, you know, give you money for dinner. And I was like, all right. So we got up early that morning and we headed out.
Yeah.
We got into Denver and there was a huge snowstorm and it was shutting the highways down right behind us, you know. And I mean, it
Because you're
started
coming up on Thanksgiving.
correct.
Yeah.
So it was
Okay.
about, and it was actually a week before Thanksgiving
Okay.
because I wanted to get it out there to her early.
Yeah.
And so anyway, I mean, it was just, we were
Quite the
driving at
trip.
night, and here I've already driven across Kansas, that fun state, you know. And so anyway, by the time we got there, we were just going to hang the picture, you know, show them the picture,
Mhm.
and then hang it, and then go to our hotel, and then come back home the next morning. Well, I was just like snowblind,
Yeah.
you know, just
No, that's scary.
trying to stay on the road, and we were able to get to our exit. They had closed them down right behind us.
Oh my gosh.
And so anyway, I went in and I said, you know, I can't hang this tonight. And she said, we're going to get you to your hotel and come back in the morning. So anyway, we did that and hung it and
Oh, what an
headed out.
experience.
Yep. And then they actually paid me a little bit more,
Yeah.
you know, and that was nice. But they are great, you know,
Good
great
customer.
clients. Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Very
So,
cool.
yeah,
I'm sure that's kind of your ideal situation is to walk into somebody, they give you
it
what you need, and
is.
then you just get to go home and
Yes, because then I can look at their colors and I can see their
yeah.
schemes that they like. Because, when somebody says, I like the rusts or the golds or yellows, you never know what those colors are,
Right. It's
so
very subjective.
yeah, absolutely. So I'm not a great fan of doing commissioned work. If somebody's, it's like I had that one picture.
Yeah.
And of course, when I do my contract with them, tell them, this is my,
This is my art.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
my perspective of what, so just,
Sure.
and then I work with them through the thing and send them pictures and say,
That's very neat.
this is what it's going to be like, kind of.
Do you have a favorite picture that you've ever made?
I do. I do. I actually do, and I haven't sold it. So I have a couple of them. So one is my horse Ike, and it's on the website, and he's done with buffalo hide,
Okay.
and it's just basically his muzzle and comes down where has my hand with an apple. And
Aw.
he's, how their lips when they're like curled, getting ready to bite the apple, so that's what he's doing. And then I took some of the horse hair, some of his horse hair is actually coming out of his chin. And,
Oh, I see. There's a couple
and
little
of
hairs.
course the mole they have up there that always has the long hair coming out. And so there's some of his hairs that are in there.
Interesting. And that's very an abstract one, almost.
A little bit. I
Yeah.
mean, I got the vein in there and, just kind of glue the leather and kind of push it around to where
That's a really good mouth.
I
That
want
just
it.
is a piece of
Yeah.
leather.
And it was literally, I took a photo of him and then I took a photo of my hand and we changed the apple. But anyway, put that in there. Another one that I have, I don't know if it's on the website. It was one of my early pieces. And it's just a couple sailboats on an ocean. It's not very big, probably a 10 by 12. Let's see if it's on there. And I do want to say that, nope, that one's not it. I do want to say that the photographs do not do them justice.
No.
They tend to pick up and look like there's
Oh,
the
yeah,
bird.
that's the bird.
Yeah.
Scroll down
They
that one.
they tend to look like maybe animated would be a word for it, but it just picks up some of the hard lines. But in person, they're completely really different
Yeah.
than.
It's hard. I feel like, just even if I'm photographing a piece of leather to email you to be like, do
Yes.
you like this?
Yes.
It's so hard to catch really like the detail
Yes.
in leather and to understand what's happening. So I could understand how,
Yes.
like, and plus they're so big in life.
They're big, yes.
And so looking at this
And
little
actually,
screen.
my son is a photographer and he's
love
got,
this
yeah, and that's cowhide hair on.
Uh-huh.
The picture's not in here, I don't think. But anyway, he's a photographer and he's got all the lighting set up and equipment and whatever, and he can't even get great pictures
Yeah.
from them. So, it puts me into an area where I'm not an artist that I can make prints.
Right.
Each piece is one of one
And that's all it's
forever.
gonna be.
Yes.
Yeah.
And even with, this is really intriguing, but even with like the ones where I use the acid wash.
Mm-hmm.
So you first have the color of the cow, whether it's black and white or roan or whatever color it is. So you have his own color, her own color. And then you have how the tannery dyed it.
Mm-hmm.
So that color, they usually kind of bleed a little bit. That's not going to
hair.
happen again.
Yeah.
And then when they come in and they pour the acid over it, that's not ever going to happen like that again. And then I take and make it into a picture, and that's not ever going to happen again. So there's always, there's so many layers of, this is so unique.
Yeah.
Your piece is your piece. It's a one of a kind.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Which I think makes it even more special.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So one thing that we did when I was in Florida, I was like, okay, these other artists, they can make prints, whether they're photographers or painters or whatever, and they can have something that kind of helps, I say, cover the booth costs.
Yeah.
By
Yeah.
selling the prints. And so
Right.
it's like, I need to think about making something that's smaller or whatever, and I have to stay within my category of wall hanging, because then I have to go back to them
Oh,
and say, I'm making these things, and they
because they're
appro
very specific about.
Yes, they
Yes,
are.
yeah,
They're very particular. If you
yeah.
bring something in out of your booth that you didn't jury in for, they'll make you take it down, because
Okay.
it's
They have a
it's
very specific.
it's fine art,
Right,
you know.
right.
And so anyway, so I asked him, I thought, well, I'll make these sand dollars.
I remember that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's in the pictures. And
yep.
so I made 3 sizes of sand dollars, and I took this I forgot what it's called. It's a plastic
Okay.
that I can heat up with the heat gun, which is also the plastic that I have I can do. But I got these sheets of this polypropylene. No, does that sound right? Anyway,
Sounds like a plastic word.
yeah. So anyway, so I cut them out and then I bend them over and then I put glue on there and cut them out. And then I put the backings on them and I actually used fish netting
Oh.
because that way you can
However,
move it around to whatever you
oh,
need, or if you're like putting it on the
you are so
wall and you
creative.
can, go, maybe
Yeah,
make like 3 or 4 of them, in a wall
yeah.
display. And so anyway, so I did that. But and a couple shows they sold really good, but they did take me a long time.
Yeah.
And it was like, okay, that's not really cost effective.
You're like, these aren't like
Yeah.
cheap little pieces.
Yes. And then I even had
Right.
made some palm trees that were just palm trees that you could hang on, kind of like a collage of palm
Mhm.
trees too. And those didn't do real well and they do take a long time. And I said, well, I'll just put them in a picture,
Right.
So it's like, I'll make more money over there. But
Interesting.
yeah. So yeah, I'm always trying something new and seeing what's something that's going to work or not work and go from there.
So, have you found any small little thing that is a
I have
little cheap
not.
thing for you to make?
I have
Thought
not.
about doing your little characters, like you had the ballerina dancer,
Mhm.
doing just smaller versions of that that you can collect and hang on the wall.
Yes, I can. But again, it goes back into scale.
Fair. Yeah.
Because then
Yeah.
you got, the hair sizes and stuff. But yes, I've actually started making some smaller ones, not real small, because actually the smaller I go, usually the more difficult
Mhm.
it
Yeah.
is,
Mhm.
and most
Yeah.
people think, oh, just a little one and here get by. But actually
More
it's
complicated.
a lot more work.
Yeah.
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 So
I can see. I mean, your hair is so long, you're gonna have to trim it down to this is just very.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, but that's a great idea. Doesn't mean that I've tossed it out because I may go, oh, well, maybe this will work for this size.
Yeah.
I'm not done. I'm not finished at all.
Do you have a favorite kind of scene that you like to build? Is there?
I do like the trees.
Yeah.
I like the trees and the pine trees. I don't know
You
if
make
you
a
can
cool
pull up.
pine tree.
Yeah, so there was that big hide that you had that had the white in the middle, and he was a curly. It was this one right here.
Oh yeah.
Okay, and that's oh man, that rug's beautiful. God, I wish these pictures would. But anyway, yes, I like the pine trees, and I'm gonna do a lot more with those. Got some changes for the mountains. Right now, these are just kind of built up, and then I kind of push them and curve them. But now I'm gonna go in where they're sectioned out, where that it's gonna show like a dark side of the mountain, purplish,
Uh-huh.
and then marry those together.
Yeah.
And so that's one thing that I'm
That's
working on
what
at home.
when we were looking at rugs, that's what you were looking for.
Yes,
You were like,
yes.
I need the light and the dark side.
Correct.
Yeah.
And so a lot of times when I'm looking at those, it may be a different color hair
Mhm.
cow. And that may make a big difference on the picture,
Yeah.
So, but maybe I can dye them now.
You're-
Learned a lot with that.
Oh my goodness. They're just so unique and so
Thank you.
incredible. Yeah, I love looking at them. I could just see how if I was in your booth
Yeah.
at a show, it would just take me forever to make it around to each one, looking at all of the little
Yeah.
details that you put in to everything. Ooh, look at that mountain.
Mhm. And then that one's just kind of pushed around. It's not a finish. As you can see, it's hanging there. I've got a moon in it, and I've also inlaid stars in it.
Okay.
And it's a beautiful picture, it's that. And that was the custom picture for Colorado. And it just does not do that justice. It was really kind of amazing because I only had the one picture to go off of, the one photograph off of her
Hmm.
condo deck. And this looks nothing like the picture, because when you take pictures of mountains out of your phone, you're like, well, this is not what this
Yeah.
looks like, right? Anybody that's done that. And so when we went to the hotel that night, and it was a beautiful hotel, and they had great big, like 4 stories of windows, obviously, to
Oh.
look out at the ski
Hmm.
mountain. And when I came down from the room and I looked around the corner and saw that, and it looked more like the picture that I had made. And I was just like, I know every ski trail. I know
Nook and cranny.
every nook and
Yeah.
cranny, how this is built. Yeah. So it was really kind of intriguing. It took my breath away, mostly because I was exhausted
Right.
from the snowstorm. But I walked around and looked at that and went, oh, that's really what it does look like.
Yeah. Well, especially when you're a picture on your phone, you're looking at it and
Yeah.
it's 2 inches by 4 inches
Yeah.
or whatever, and then you're making
Sure.
a 40 by 60
Yes.
out of it. There's a lot more detail that you need to add
Yes.
in order to get from this tiny little picture on your phone.
Yes. And, sometimes from photographs that I take, like I was telling you that you guys down here in Springfield have got beautiful rocks coming in on 65, and they had them nice and mowed, And so I'll go back and I may take a picture of that, and then I'll print it off, and I'll go to a printing company
Okay.
and I have them enlarge it. And so all I have to do is, in a sense, almost trace out. I don't need to use my plastic or anything, and I can get it to the size that I need, maybe 1 or 2 larger,
Yeah.
so I can move in or out visually.
Oh,
Yeah.
look at
Yeah.
you.
And so a lot of times I do that. I mean, I have tubs of rolls of enlarged pictures that, that
Yeah.
I can reference back to. Yeah.
Oh, what a good
So,
idea.
yeah.
Doing a couple different scales
Hmm.
to give yourself at
Yeah.
this perspective. Okay, the front of my picture needs to be this size, the middle of it needs, and
Yeah.
then I have my
Just as long as I get my compositions good in the beginning and make sure
Mhm.
my values are where they need to be visually for, the prospective buyer.
yeah.
So, yeah.
Very
Yeah.
fascinating.
So you saw the flags.
Yes.
You saw the
yeah.
flag
And
on
that was
there.
when you first kind of started coming around. That was like you were like, I need red, white, and blue leather.
I didn't know you had online shopping. It's been just the death of my wallet, but yes, but anyway, so this one's probably a 32 by 48.
Okay.
And so I have made a lot of these, and people love them, and I just don't like to make them. They're boring. The stars, each star takes me probably about not quite 30 minutes to cut out,
Oh my goodness.
because I have to put it on there, make sure the stars fit within the stripes, how they're supposed to.
Hmm.
And there's no reference on these as far as an enlargement of a flag or whatever. They just doesn't quite work. And flags are kind of different too. But, then I have to go in and cut it out, and then I have to skive the star off, and sometimes I cut an arm off and got to redo that one. But they have to be perfect so that they glue down and they stay, so that, they don't.
Yeah.
They're very smooth. They're very there. And then I usually, when I make the red and white stars and stripes, or the stripes area, that may be not quite twice that size.
Okay.
By the time I've scrunched them up and moved them
Oh,
over.
wow. You're losing that much area.
Yeah. And then I also take, I have plexiglass usually behind this, and I heat it up and kind of mold it. And then I can push it over there. And it's very difficult because I have to wear short sleeves, and I have to get one arm up under there to move that around. And then I can't touch like this other hand has to have no glue, because if I touch it, it might remove the color
Right.
off the flag. Some leathers do, some
Yep.
don't.
Yeah.
And then also, even if it's just a little bit of a fade. So it's like I
Yeah.
have one arm just up under the flag, and the top one can't be it's like, and trying to get that smushed up there, because then I have to
Yeah.
smush from the top.
It's
So
huge.
little bit of ambidextrous going on there. But yeah, they are very difficult to make.
Are
But
you
they are
sewing
beautiful.
this at all?
No,
No, there's
no,
no sewing.
no. There's no, here's one thing that we try to, go with is there's no paint. I don't
Right.
paint and I don't stitch. Everything is cut and glued and now either dyed or, either
Right.
pre-dyed or,
Manipulated somehow.
yeah, either pre-dyed, and most of my leathers are pre-dyed. And then now I'm learning some dyes,
Yeah.
but that's mostly to get into the shadows
Right.
and those
Or
kind
your
of things.
sunset
Yes.
fade things.
Yes,
You're
yes, in
doing
the
that.
sky. Yeah.
Yeah.
And water and clouds have been kind of my nemesis of trying to figure out, how to make those. And
Yeah.
now I've found 2 ways all in the same week. It was like, who knew that one? But a lot of times the mistakes that I make or the, trying to figure out what's going to work and doesn't work usually lead me into another type of picture. For instance, this flag, not necessarily this flag, but a flag, when I was making it, I had to pull the red and white stripes apart. And it was still pretty wet glue. And when it did, it made this beautiful waterfall.
Oh.
And so, the glue did. So I was like, I wonder what this will do. Oops. If it's in freezing temperatures, when we're traveling, if it's in heat, what's the heat going to do to it? And so I got some things out and took like a bottle or 2 of glue and just kind of laid it down and then dripped it down and let it sit there and then took it to the garage for, in 0-degree temperature. It took me about a year to figure out, is this going to be safe? And actually my cousin has that picture and it's a waterfall with my glue ball rocks and a little pool down there, but the waterfall is probably about 12 inches long.
And the waterfall is
glue. It's all glue and it's set apart from the picture. So like the rocks come out and
it's pretty stable.
Oh yeah.
Like it's good.
Oh yeah.
How fascinating.
I know. And I actually have my original picture, which was a Christmas scene and I didn't have much leather and perspective was off and stuff, but I actually still have that. And it was just a mess. I mean, the back of it, I didn't know what to put things on. I didn't have this. I had some of that insulation that has the silver back on it, and that's what's on the back. That's what it's glued to, right? And so, but, at that time where I was in my life and how I found this, I was the back of that picture. I was just a mess.
Yeah.
And the gift wasn't that I was given the knowledge or the ability to do this. The gift is that I get to come around the front side and see the picture.
Oh, that's beautiful.
And same with the other people, share this gift with other people because it's not my gift. I get to really just be a part of these pictures because I get amazed. I'm like, oh my God, look at this. Go look how this does this. Yeah. So I get real excited about that when I learn these new processes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and I'm sure you were talking about, being in your booth and telling people we pet our pictures. Like
yes.
These are things that you can come in, which I'm sure is a little odd in the high-end art community.
It's not.
Is it not?
No, because it's so funny because you see people over there and they'll be like, just a quick touch, and I'd be like, did you touch that? And they're like, you should really touch it like this, And Mitch is like, oh, people go and he'll say, you can touch the pictures and they'll just take a finger and he's like, no. This, and big touch, big pets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it really, I mean, you're it's a textile. It's a textile, or a tactile art.
Yes, very much so. And, really, there's an area that I kind of want to go down. Haven't quite explored it all, but I really think that it would be great pictures for like visually impaired.
Yeah.
Because they've got something they can touch. Maybe they already know colors or whatever, but you can feel these and, you can't really do that. Matter of fact, I was like, to you guys out there, you might think about maybe brailing in leather.
Oh.
Where that you've got sayings and you've put them on your purse or on your something in Braille for the blind community because there's a lot of them. I'm not going to do it, so you guys have at it. I don't do that. You can touch mine, but smell them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just with a little cedar, you just figure out whatever little saying you needed. And I'm sure
Exactly.
the internet would tell you what the Braille letters look like,
Yeah.
and you could just piece it together and then
Yeah.
just with the
I
seeder,
mean,
type
yeah.
it
I mean,
in.
you see, because I mean, they even have like even shapes with their hands that make certain that stand for certain
Yeah.
things that they might want to have that on their, you know.
That's a really cool
It
idea.
is. It's like the origami list. Because you were doing that, you were talking about. I was like, you should do some origami. That might help.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I do enjoy the origami.
Yeah. Yeah.
The leather.
I think it's cool. So there was a great video on TV that I watched about the origami.
Oh, did you?
Oh yeah, I'll have to share it with you later.
Okay.
Yeah.
That sounds good.
It's been a while, but yeah.
Very
Yeah,
nice.
I like that. I like to, when I'm making a picture, I usually do a lot of research,
Mhm. Because you are a very curious person.
I am very curious, it was really, I like the aspen trees
Yeah.
and, it's like,
Do you know a lot of aspen tree info now?
yes, I do, because I mean, these are clones. These are all connected by the roots. And when one goes down, the kind of the main
Okay.
one, it sends out an electric field to the rest that they then start growing.
Reproducing or
Yes,
Mhm.
and they'll stay dormant until that signal's sent to them.
It's wild.
It is. It's crazy. So I learned all
Trees
kinds
are
of,
amazing.
I know they are.
Nature's
And so anyway,
amazing.
but I learn all kinds of things about everything, even like the whatever critters or animals or whatever. I always like to look them up
Yeah.
and read about them.
What do you while you're making a picture, what do you do? How do you get into the zone? Do you listen to things? Do
Yeah,
you
I listen to podcasts, and probably for about the last 3 or 4 months, I've been listening to a lot of, I'm into the paint world right now.
Mhm.
And because they have a lot of information that I can use.
Yeah.
And nobody else does this. So I don't have somebody I can, look up a video or look up this or that. Other
Yeah.
than the leather makers, I mean, I'm watching all of, on Monday
Yeah.
and Wednesday, I watch them all. Even if I don't
Always.
chime in, I'm listening
Mhm.
because there's something that might be great there for
Yeah.
me,
And I know when we went out to Sheridan to the leather debut, there's a whole picture section. And
Yeah.
a lot of it is tooled. There's a lot of,
Mhm.
people are putting together very similar, probably methods of construction
Yes.
or whatever. And they're doing kind of the 3-dimensional stacked
Yes.
images, but a lot of it is mostly tooled. And I'm trying to think.
Yeah. Or painted, tooled and painted.
Yes, tooled and painted.
Yes.
Images that are kind of stacked. But
Yeah.
like, I think one of these days you need to take one of these up to Sheridan.
I hope to.
Yeah.
I hope to. It's just like when I'm looking 6 months out, I'm like, okay, I need to get this much to take. And then this is my time's going towards pictures in Florida or,
Right.
coastal type things.
You gotta fit
And
it
so
all
that's
in.
actually why we just kind of ran out of some pictures. I mean, I had some, but I said, I need to take a break. I need to
Yeah.
redo my studio. I need to learn. I need to, go into the art world and learn I need to do this better.
Yeah.
And so anyway, that's kind of where I've been. And it's like, oh boy, that's 4 months out, or something. I'm like, okay, I can't do that
Not
yet.
this year.
But I do want
Next
to
year.
go up there, yes. And I do want to go
I
up
think you would
there.
love it.
Yeah,
That's-
absolutely.
That's what Yon does when he's getting ready for another sculpture. I'll have to show you some of his work if you're not familiar with him.
Uh-huh.
He does leather sculptures. He takes a year even
Yeah.
and like goes and learns a different art form that he's going to need to use in that sculpture, and then spends time learning that, and then goes back and then makes his leather sculpture.
I think I've seen some of his work.
He's the guy that did the hawk.
Yes.
the leather hawk.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah, he's working
Yeah.
on Golden Eagle right now.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, and those are just awesome,
Actually, I feel like you guys are like similar in the just very unique
Mhm.
applications
Yeah.
of creating
Yeah.
a piece of art out of leather.
Yeah, because I mean, it's like I don't know what category I really fit in. I'm not a painting. I'm sculpting, but I'm not a sculpturist. So I don't really fit in a category. And I mean, actually, people have said, oh, this is a great idea. And I always encourage anybody that would want to steal my idea is to steal it, because their technique is going to be different than mine.
Yeah, and they're
You know.
I mean, just sitting here
Yes.
listening to you and how you have come up with the different ways that you go about doing things. Like you're just sitting in your room with the random stuff that you have around you, and
Yeah.
you're like, okay, what are we going to use today, guys?
Yeah. I mean,
I bet you talk to yourself a lot.
I do. And I talked to the leather because I'm always like, oh, you're so beautiful. Oh, you're my favorite. And then here's another one is, oh God, this one's beautiful.
Every rug, guys, every rug. We throw it out. Oh, my
Oh,
God.
wow.
Mitch
Yeah.
is sitting over in the corner and he just chuckles. And we
Yeah.
throw, oh my goodness.
Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, and then I mean, a lot of times my brain does not turn off when I go to bed, and I'm thinking, usually I put it on simmer. It's like, okay, I need to fix this. How am I going to do it? What are my options
Do you have a
here?
little notebook?
Nope.
No.
I get out of bed. I just get up out of bed and I go up in my studio and I try it, because I might forget. Usually I don't, but I might forget.
Yeah.
And I also might find something completely different than what I thought.
Yeah.
So
See where that thought takes you.
I do,
You go and see.
Yep. I go and figure it out right then and there.
How
Yeah.
fun.
So when we got married, it was like, I'm not staying in bed. If I'm getting up, I'll try not to wake you up, but don't worry. I just gotta go over there.
I just need to go touch my leather. It's okay.
Yes. I need to try. And, and after I've done that, then I, 15, 30 minutes, I'll go back to bed. It's like, okay.
Got it out of my head. It's good.
Yep.
Do you keep notes about things, or are you pretty good? You still got
yeah, I
pretty good
do.
memory?
But then I lose my notes.
Okay.
So I do have a lot of notes that I keep, especially now that I'm trying to fix my art problem.
Yeah.
and learn the new things, because it has not come easy for me, learning the, lost edges, found it, all of these things that how they fit together, And so I have to take a lot of notes for that. And that helps me, writing it down helps me remember it.
For sure.
So, so I have a lot of notes. And of course, now I'm going into changing my website a little bit, going for social media.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah.
Lord help you.
Yes. Yes. Thank you very much. And so I'm trying to learn that. So probably the last couple of weeks I've been doing some videos.
Yeah.
I have run into somebody that will help me. And I guess he works with big companies. I don't even know anything about them. I just met them when we were out at the lake, and it was like, my husband does that. And it's like, big company. And so they came over last week. They go to the Elks with my husband's, he goes there. And so anyway, I said, you guys want to stop by and look at the art? And they're like, yeah. And they came by and they were there for an hour and a half just. Nice. And I said, look, I know nothing. I said, I forget how to, copy and paste, I know nothing. And so anyway, I said, well, I'll just video some things. And so I did my techniques, working and telling what I'm doing and why. And then I saw somebody else's video, an artist's video, and it's like, my market is not for people that want to learn how to make this. My market is for somebody that wants to put it on the wall. Yeah. And their comment was, they want to know kind of what it is, a little bit how it's made, and then give us the end product. Don't tell us all this detail thing, just make it emotional for us, And so anyway, so now I'm trying to start kind of videos of that. I've made a couple of them, and then I sent them to my son, and he's like, Mom, actually, that one was pretty good. A little sad, but pretty good. It was about an otter with his CITES tag. And kind of explaining that a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is sad to me, but, I'm going to give it a new life.
Yeah.
Give it another life. And that's what we all do here at the Leather Workers.
That's literally what
we do with our imagination. We do give it everything a new life.
We are recycling.
Yeah.
We're recycling.
Yeah, because we love those animals.
We do.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever met a leather crafter that's not an animal lover.
I know. Because we just realize the reality of it,
Yeah.
And we do get a few people that come through the booth that, might ask, or, and
for sure.
And I just tell them, look, I don't know. I know that I've got a tag for it and that it was supposed to be humanely killed, and I don't know.
Yeah. Well, and I just
kind of, and I kind of put it back on them,
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Along that vein, every once in a while we'll send out in $100 box, we'll have some sort of exotic that goes out with it. Mm-hmm. And so sometimes we'll get, email from one of those customers that maybe don't buy exotics on their own for whatever reason. And so they have questions about different things. And my kind of go-to for a lot of it is we are really, especially at Springfield Leather,
Yes.
we don't bring in very much exotic that hasn't first gone through an industry first.
Yes.
So we are buying scraps from the boot manufacturers here in the United States,
Right.
maybe possibly some in Mexico, that they are bringing it in. They're going to bring it in whether I like it or not.
That's right.
From wherever.
Yeah.
And a lot of those countries in Africa, they're managing the wildlife that they
Yep.
need to manage, just like we manage wildlife here in
Yep.
the United States. We've got deer season, and we've
Mhm.
got. I don't really know the seasons, guys. Don't judge me. I don't know.
Yeah, but they do. I mean,
yes.
it is controlled.
So they have all that, and so for me, I'm just like, this was left over from a manufacturing.
Yeah.
And now we have these pieces, and we can make little holsters or knife sheaths or key fobs, or you can make rocks.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and that's
And tree
what
trunks.
that's what we always tell people,
Mhm.
because I've had people just simply come in and ask where
Sure.
I get my leather from.
Yeah.
And I do have a couple other sources. You are the main source, but I always tell them,
Yeah.
we go, here's my reputable leather company, and you can look them up if you need to or
For sure.
whatever, and go from there. So
Yeah.
it's but yeah, and it's amazing. I can remember I'd gotten some cobra hides,
Uh-huh.
and ordered those, and those came in the mail, and I was like, oh,
They have a head.
they still have a head. I'm telling you, the customers absolutely love it at the shows. It's like, you want to see my snake skin? And some of them are like, no. Some are like, yeah.
Did you use the head?
No, I just take the hides with me, and then I show people,
Oh.
because I do take like a rug or two with me and some other samples.
Yeah.
And so that they can
Be like, this is where it started.
understand. Yeah. Because a lot of them, they'll
Oh,
come,
for sure.
they come in the booth and they're like, now what's this?
What are these materials?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Now what's this? That's leather. And, Mitch was like, it's leather. I told you it's leather. And it's like, no, you have to be nice, And so anyway, but you tell them it's leather, and then they'll say, look, Lucy, look at this fabric,
Yeah.
And it's like, no, that's leather. And they're like, oh, that too,
Do you make little keys that go with your pictures of like all the different leathers that are in it?
I don't usually. When I sell it,
Yeah.
then I send it to them.
Okay.
Personally, because each picture has a different thing. That is one thing I'm going to start doing, is writing that down.
Yeah.
That I like the interaction with the
For
people.
sure.
So it's always fun talking, and they're going to forget anyway.
Yeah.
But yes, that is one thing that I'll do is
Especially that
send-
mountain that had you have all the furs.
Yes.
You have every fur
Yes.
that you probably own is in that mountain.
Yes. And actually, it was very difficult to sign that picture. I was talking to Jenny here earlier before we started this, because I get some price tags made up. And then I also needed to, sometimes it's very difficult to sign my name on these pictures. And so for this picture that we took to Colorado, the big of Beaver Creek, I took a piece of the Metacatharina shipwreck leather.
Yeah.
And then I just signed it and then glued that piece onto the bottom of the picture, because there wasn't really a place, to that it would show and whatever.
Yeah.
So I did that. So I was telling them, you got a piece of history going on here.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So anyway, but they're a lot of fun, and always creative and curious what's going to happen. You're going to be a part of it.
You find yourself in each picture.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
That's really cool.
Yeah. So anyway.
Well, Kelly, is there anything else that you would like to share with the fine folks?
Well, not that I can think of. Is there something that I've missed, or?
I think that we've kind of covered all the little bits and pieces of day in the life of Kelly.
Yeah. Leather pictures.
Leather pictures.
Yeah. So I'm working on my website, and my son is. And so we're going to be probably in the next year going completely with Robin Kelly Brown.
Okay.
And then it's going to be just that. And that's going to be my brand, my logo, whatever. I do have leatherpictures.com. I have I don't know, he bought 5 websites,
just in case.
Yeah. Just to cover bases and to, cross-reference.
Well, that's very nice that you've got his help to do the tech side of things.
Yes.
That's not my favorite thing either. I sit on this side, and then I let the folks do the other side.
Yeah. Yeah. I was listening to podcasts on that while I worked too. And it was like, okay, I need to get the terminology at least down. Justin's laughing over here. He's like, yeah, you people.
We're the creative ones.
Yeah.
We like to do this thing.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys get to be creative with that side of things.
Yeah,
you
and that's
know?
very creative.
It's a whole nother thing.
It is. I've just been really intrigued because I've been trying to find how to do some of this, and like I said, my son's got some of this in the background and whatever. Like when he was a kid, he would get, instead of playing with the Legos, he's a big Lego guy.
Oh.
Instead of playing with the Legos, I mean, he was 6 and he was like, grabbing my camera and he was moving the Legos and taking a picture and moving the Legos and taking
stop motion.
Yep. This was already in his, in his psyche, in his background, when he was a kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds like your son and I would be friends.
Oh yeah, he's
the
got
Legos.
like a shelf of the thing. I think you might have more because he kind of cut back.
Yeah, I have problems.
Yeah,
It's
so,
all right.
anyway.
I just got the Kingfisher set, and I'm really excited to build it because it's so cool. I love
and
it
what
so
is
much.
that? Is that the
Kingfish-
bird?
It's the bird.
Okay,
mhm.
I love that because they fly through the lake and it's like there
Yeah.
goes a kingfisher. They're so cool.
They're so cool.
Yeah.
I love the videos of them diving and like,
Yeah.
catching.
Yeah,
birds
we've-
are amazing.
Yeah, we have got some type of hawker raptor that is kind of white underneath and brown, and you got the little apps where they fly by and you can say what this
Yeah.
is, and I can't catch him. I can't catch him to find out what he is because he is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
It
got
always
great colors.
Like, I don't imagine birds swimming. Like, that's just like a weird thing. But like watching a bird swim is like the wildest thing. And
It
just-
is.
It's crazy.
Yeah. So we have the white pelicans that come into the lake,
Oh, nice.
once or
Yeah.
twice a year. And I mean, you see pictures online, but when you see them swimming by, they're so massive.
Yeah.
And
Beautiful.
those lakes,
Diving
Yeah.
down. Yeah.
There's a lot out there.
Yeah, and I think we don't get them, but the swans that come in sometimes. I mean, not at the lake, but at other people's. But yeah, they're sober, very intriguing, very
Love birds.
intriguing.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I can remember you're like, I think I'm gonna pet crow.
I do.
I don't think you can have a pet crow.
Well, I think I could encourage one to come around.
Yeah, you might hang around, but I think legally you can't have a
Oh,
pet crow.
well, then we won't tell anybody.
yeah.
But I'm
I
gonna,
read that somewhere and I was like, what? Why can
I can't stop it from being my friend if it wants to be my friend.
Yeah,
And I'll help it be my friend
Yeah.
with treats.
yeah, because that's kind of what I could do with the eagle in our code.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Well, Kelly, thank you so much for
Thanks
coming
for
in. It has
thanks.
been lovely. You guys go check out her website because once again, you need to see what we're talking about if you've just been listening. And then, if you ever get a chance to go to one of her shows or just to check them out in person, they need to be seen in person because they are just phenomenal pieces.
Yeah. Or if you're coming to Springfield
So-
Leather and traveling through and you want to come by the lake, just,
Yeah.
DM me or whatever, and you can come play.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming
Thank
in
you.
today. Bye. That's a wrap on episode 9 of the Make Something podcast. A big thank you to Kelly Brown for taking the time to share her story and process with us. If you want to check out more of Kelly's work, you can find her website at www.robinkellybrown.com. If you're enjoying this podcast so far, be sure to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with a fellow maker. We've got one more conversation left this season, and it will be with our very own Kevin Hopkins, the founder and owner of Springfield Leather. Until next time, keep learning, keep crafting, and most importantly, make something.